guys! Welcome to another Bibliophobes video, and today I'm bringing you what I read in the month of August. So in the month of August, I was pretty impressed with myself. I read a grand total of 13 books, and with reading those 13 books, I read a grand total of 2,209 pages. I was pretty psyched with myself for doing that, so let's get started. So the first book that I read was A Man Called Ove, and this is by Fredrik Backman. And this book was the most surprising book that I ever read. I was not expecting to like it one bit because of the fact that when you start out reading this book, this guy is so crabby, so crotchety, and I did not like it. I was not enjoying it. I was literally getting mad reading this book. But I kept reading it because everybody kept saying how wonderful it was. And I'm so glad I finished reading it because I gave it 5 stars. And then the next 4 books that I read after that were actually books from my Bible. They were smaller books, so I was able to read them one right after the other. And that was Hosea, Joel, Amos, and Obadiah. And that I gave them 5 stars because they're cute little books and I was able to read them pretty fast. Then the next book that I read was The Midnight Star by Mary Lou, and this book also surprised me. I was not expecting to like this series, especially when it came to the end book, because I was having trouble with it, and then it surprised me. I loved the ending. It made me feel feelings, and I cried, and it was so wonderful, and I gave it 5 stars. And then the next book that I read, I actually borrowed from my library. It was an audiobook, and it's called Let's Pretend This Never Happened by Jenny Lawson. Super good book. I gave it 5 stars. It's a biography, self-help book, something, I don't know what you would call it really, but it was I laughed out loud a lot of times. It is hilarious. You do have to be careful because there's a lot of language in it. So those of you that don't like language in your reading, be careful with that because there is a lot of language. It was actually a really inspiring story. She deals with a lot of anxiety and depression, and it was very inspiring of how she handles everything. The next book on my list was the BFG, Roald Dahl. I guess that's how you say it. In this book, it's a middle grade book. I did very much enjoy this book. It was a very cute, whimsical story. I gave it 5 stars, and I love the relationship between the BFG and the little girl. It's just a cute little story. It was very enjoyable to read. It was a great story to read, especially after A Man Called Ove and The Midnight Star, and I did very much enjoy it. Then the next book I read was also another book from my Bible, Jonah, and I gave it 5 stars. However, Jonah's a spoiled brat. The next book on my list, Darth Bane, Path of Destruction by Drew Karpinski? I think that's how you say it. But I gave this book 5 stars. I read this because I knew it was an anti-hero book, and I knew it was exactly what I needed, and I love this. It is about Darth Bane, obviously, and it's about how he becomes Darth Bane, and the Path of Destruction being the first book, and then of course the next books that follow. Then the next book that I read, Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis, and this book, it was a very inspiring book of just a life. It was wonderful to read. It made me laugh out loud a lot, so I did very much enjoy this. Then the next book that I read, I wasn't sure that I was going to pick this up or finish this year, but it was The End of Oz by Daniel Page. This is the last book in the Dorothy Must Die series, and it was very good. It ended very well. It definitely ended how I wanted it to end, and I was very, very happy with the ending. I was surprised that I liked the ending because a lot of times you might not like the ending, especially when it comes to the end of a series, because it's the end of a series. But I felt okay with it. I felt okay with ending the series. Same thing that happened with Midnight Star. I was okay with ending it. Shocked that I was. Getting over that fact of I stop reading series because I don't want them to end. Don't know why that happens. That just happens. And then the last book that I read was Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. This book was a very, very small book. I picked it up in a garage sale, I think. But this book was extremely good. It is about, if you can't figure out what the cover is or what time period it is, then let me tell you. It is definitely World War II era. It is about, I can't remember the exact location, Copenhagen. Copenhagen. So they're in Denmark, and it is about our main character who helps her best friend escape the Nazis. And it is a very, very good book. I was very, very, very awesome. Very awesome young book to be able to start reading about World War II, because a lot of the things that you read about World War II are very depressing because it was not a good time. I did really like that. I found that very, very nice and very wonderful. And that wrapped up what I read in August. I was working on other things to read, but I was not able to get through with them because I was so tired by the end. We had my grandpa's 80th birthday party, and then I had a surprise birthday party for my birthday, which I'm not gonna lie, I asked for it. So I knew it was coming, but my best friend from North Carolina did end up surprising me, which was awesomely amazing. And then we were able to spend time at a beach house and just hang out with her family and my husband, and we just hung out all weekend. It was wonderful. So I did enjoy that. But back to what we were talking about. I did a little figuring. Like I said, I read a grand total page count of 2,209 pages. And then my average rating, if you didn't figure it out, it was 5 stars. I rated everything 5 stars. So that was that. So that was easy to figure out. And then my longest book was actually Darthbane, page count coming in at 389 pages. My shortest book was Number the Stars, coming in at 137 pages. My favorite book was Let's Pretend This Never Happened. I laughed so much during that book that I just enjoyed it so much. I am definitely going to be reading it and probably buying it because it was that good. And then my biggest surprise book that I didn't think I was going to enjoy was A Man Called Ove. And that book I did not think I was going to like at all. I thought I was going to hate it, but I didn't. I ended up really, really enjoying it and really liking it. So that is it, guys. That is what I read in the month of August. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and give me a suggestion for what I should be reading next, because I got a lot of books and it gets hard picking out what I want to read. So yeah, but until next time, guys, I'll see you in September's vlog, and until then, this is Bibliophobe signing off. Bye. This cold is going to be the death of me.